negative feelings like jealousy, rage, anger. Like you're saying that we're supposed to know that they are within us, but that Islamically we're taught to not manage them. Like, how do you manage them without suppressing them?
Well, again, there's a lot of ways to manage. So what about anger, jealousy, and the negative feelings? Okay, so if the heart stays basically in its essence good and wants to radiate mercy, goodness, and love, if that's its nature, then anything we put in the way of that will obstruct that natural flow, right? If it wants to flow from an inner part of our being outward. I love you. With those companions were sitting with the Prophet, and one man got up and walked away, and one man said to the Prophet ﷺ, and they said, I love that man. And he said, the Prophet, he said to them, go after him and catch him and tell him. Express it. Speak it. Say it. So it wants to do that. Now, what happens is it's also the core of our being. And if it gets hurt, what does it do? If any part of our being gets hurt, it wants to protect. So if we get hurt, one of the things we'll do, and you all know, if your heart gets broken or if you get hurt by another person, what do? You're worried about getting into another exchange of any kind. So you start to protect. But when you protect, it stops the flow out as well as the flow in. Okay? So protecting the heart. Now, so the accretions that develop around the heart then are these things that grow from being hurt, from being disappointed. We all have been disappointed. I mean, when we were like this, mom and dad, everything, I mean, depending upon what situation we're in, some of us at that age were being beaten early on. Many of us. But we still carried with us, and we were taught these ideals about what life was about and about what people were about. And little by little, they started disappointing us. Oh my God, this person did that. And so we all have experienced deep, deep disappointment. And so what happens with that disappointment is we begin to, I'm going to open my heart a little bit, but not that much. Many of us don't open our hearts after that initial. Most of us in the modern age have had some deep, grievous separation from mom. That hurts. And our body responds. Our nervous system responds. So jealousy, anger, most of the difficulties that happen in couples is defensiveness. They want to love and be loved. We all want to love and be loved. It's really simple in principle. But we have this history. And the history causes us to have these trigger responses. And the trigger responses are there in our nervous system. Uh-oh, they said that thing. I think I'm being attacked. Well, I'm going to attack right back. I'm going to fight right back. Fight, flight, freeze. Those are things that happen in relationships too. Tomorrow I'm going to talk more about relationships. Because fight, flight, and freeze, dissociation, happens in relationships too. And it happens in relationships on all levels. When 911 happened in this country, I tell you, I observed it. I would go to the cleaners and the woman was more friendly. Do you all know what I'm talking about? Do you remember that? How people were kind of more open in terms of, for a short time, because they suddenly felt sort of drawn together, and the natural inclination to connect with each other is a way of dealing with trauma. Animals do it. Animals are trauma. They herd together. Humans want to do the same thing. In the tsunami area, the same thing happened. People, as much as they could, started coming together in groups, cross-culturally, cross-religions, gatherings. The army was coming together with the monks. I mean, all kinds. People want to come together and to be with each other. And so at 911, people opened up and they started speaking. And I went into, and I was noticing it specifically. I thought, wow, this woman, and here we are in the cleaners, and this car, when my car had gotten towed and I had to pick up my car, and these people were being so friendly and open and talking to me, and I realized it was part of this thing of recognizing, hey, we're all humans, this thing has happened, and it kind of awakened them for a moment. And then, of course, what happened is it moved from that to its opposite extreme of extreme defense, until we have a $100 billion home security industry suddenly in place following that, which is the opposite extreme, but it's that closing down and shutting off of openness. So it takes courage to be open. Courage, what is courage? What's the word come from? Kur. Right. Courage from the heart. Open heart. And we don't have anything to lose, but we believe that. We don't have anything to lose by being open, saying, I love you to someone. Or whatever, being expressive, fully expressive. But we're frightened.